So we actually we're trying to give out how you're supposed to, the first things you're supposed to do when you open your chat. So I technically told you guys that you're supposed to start from the biggest time frame, or the monthly time frame in this case, to be precise. So you look at the highest time frame, which is in this case the monthly, and then you consider the general price trend. Okay, you consider the general price trend, and then you also consider where you think, after considering the general price trend, we focus again on, the current market situation. We don't really go so far, like up to here. We know that the market has been trading around this level for the last 5 years. So this is where we are focusing much on. And then once we get this level, we're going to mark 2 monthly key levels, which is we're going to mark a support and a resistance. Okay, in this case we marked this, this was support and this was our previous resistance, though it was at some point broken, it became support. So we marked these 2 key levels, and then I told you that as we mark the key levels, we really focus so much on the levels which are very close to where price is trading. Okay, so in this case we know that the level that is closer to where price is trading that is our focus. Like this is a resistance. This is where price is actually coming to. So that is where we're going to focus on. And we said, I gave you a note. I told you you can always switch between candles and line charts. Right now I'm on a line chart, but when I switch to candles, you're technically going to see that, okay, these levels are actually even still valid. Okay, let me move back to line, and then I zoom it out. So what was the next step? What are we supposed to do next? The next step should be, okay, talking about duplicating these things, you guys know when I do this and I clone, it's going to duplicate it. Okay, so that one, you don't really need it right now. But when you drop this support and then you edit the lines and then you have round smart prices, you always can duplicate a line and then you drop it where the next support and resistance would be. Now, I want you to know another thing and note another thing down, which is probably number 5 or number 4. That monthly key levels will always be in thousands of pips, either 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. It's always going to be in thousands of pips, but most commonly 1,000 pips, or maybe 2,000 pips for some pairs. Okay, so it's important to understand that the monthly key levels shall always be in thousands of pips. Okay, a good example is this Euro USD. We have 1.05, it's a support, and then we have resistance at 1.15. Now, once you have 2 accurate levels, we are going to use these 2 levels to what? Number 6. Once we have the 2 levels, we shall use the 2 key levels, to generate for us the next monthly levels. We shall use the 2 key levels to generate the rest of the other key levels. So we shall use this. Anyways, I'm not going to really be writing this because I'm recording it now. So we shall use the 2 key levels. We shall use this and this to generate other levels. Now, how do we do that? We are going to be using the price range tool. Since we have a 1,000 range movement here, you're always going to find that when you move this tool and you drop it down, it will give you the next range where if price breaks below here, price will be traded. Or if you move it up here, you technically realize that fine, this is where price will always trade. And that's why when I clone this thing and I drop my line up there, you're not going to be surprised to see that price actually came up here and rejected. Now I can remove this tool. So how do I edit this? I keep it at around smart price 1.2500. Remember I told you the pip ranges on the monthly always be in thousands of pips. So between 1.05 and 1.15, that's 1,000 pips, and this 1.15 to 1.25 is another 1,000 pips. So then when I switch back to my candles, it still looks good, right? It still looks good. Now, what is the next step? The next step is that we're going to be focusing on what monthly range is price trading at. When you look at this, you're going to see that we have price is apparently trying to trade within this range. I don't know whether you guys get it clear. This is where price is currently trying to trade it. So this is our key area of interest. This is where we're interested. Why? Which monthly level is price trading? So once we've known the zone where the price is trading on the monthly, and we know that we are so much interested into this zone, we are going to start breaking down this monthly range. It's important to understand that when you divide two monthly key levels, you're going to come out with a weekly level. When you divide two monthly key levels, you're going to come out with what we call a weekly level. So how do I divide two monthly key levels so that I come with a weekly level? You can either use a Fibonacci tool and you drop it from anywhere up to down and you look at the 55th level, or you can actually add this price on your calculator, 1.15 plus 1.05, and then you get the average. You divide by 2. So I'm going to do that on the calculator, and then I'm going to have 1.15 plus 1.05. Okay? That is 2.2. Then I divide by 2 to give us 1.1. So now I basically know that my next level is going to be here at 1.1. I come here and edit it. I keep it at 1.1. Now this one is going to be my weekly key level. So since it's my weekly key level, for formality, I'm going to have a different color. Okay, I'm going to have a different color for my weekly key level. So weekly key level, I'm going to keep it at blue. I'm going to keep it at blue. Are we together, guys? I'm going to keep my weekly key level at blue. Now, since a weekly key level is so much, or maybe quite weaker than a monthly key level, I'm going to reduce my thickness to the second biggest for the weekly key levels. My thickness is not going to be a maximum, but for formality, my thickness is going to be this. Just for formality, it doesn't really affect your trading in any ways. Even if you decide to use a zone, even if you decide to use what, like that doesn't really affect you like really so much. So the same thing I've done here, I would have done it into this range. But since my focus is into this range, I'm going to leave it like this, okay? I'm going to leave it like this. So this is my weekly key level. And probably when I come back to my candles, this is what I'm going to be having. My focus is to bring the chart into this box, and I look at opportunities to enter trades from here. So now I can go ahead and divide a weekly level and a monthly level to get a daily level. One thing I did not tell you, since this is a weekly, I don't want my weekly level to appear on the monthly. So my visibility, I'll remove it from the monthly level, okay? so that it doesn't appear on the monthly. It will only appear on the weekly level, like from the weekly and the daily. When I go to the weekly, I want the weekly level to appear there, okay? So that's how it's always going to be. Then when I go back to the monthly, we basically know that, anyways, for formality, let me keep it there. We basically know that, okay, this is a weekly key level. And the same thing that you did, when you divided two monthly levels, you got a weekly level. When you divide a weekly level and a monthly level, you're going to come out with what we call a daily level. So you can do the same, you can add this and get the average, which in this case is going to be 1.1 plus 1.05. You get 2.15 divided by 2, you get 1.075. So when I drop my thing here and I edit my price to 1.075, I'm supposed to get a daily level. You're going to be surprised that you're seeing price always just moving around it. My daily level is going to be gray, okay? My daily level is going to be gray, and I'm going to say this is a daily key level. Boom. And then I'm going to clone this. Since I'm going to need it here, I'm also going to have somewhere here. So let me see how I get what I get. 1.1 plus 1.15. 1.1 plus 1.15 divided by 2. 1.125. So 1.125. That is going to be my daily level. Now, I told you that you cannot come on the monthly and then you have all these levels. If it's a daily level, let it start appearing from the daily. You don't have to let it appear on the weekly or the monthly. You get? You let it appear on the daily and the lower time frames. Not even on the range. Then even here, I let it appear on the daily and below. Then my weekly level, I also let it appear on the weekly and below. I don't really have to let it appear so much onto the rest of the other time frames. So this is always what you need to do. For all these pairs that you're going to be trading, like I have all these pairs, you're going to basically see that I have those levels. I'm not lying, but you're basically going to see, you can see my USD card, I have my daily levels, all these levels, I have them. So let's go back to Euro USD, and this is what we have. This is now what we have, and our focus is looking at this price, this range. So of course I'm going to remove this box now. It's just to give you a clue of where you have to go. And then you're probably going to start going to a lower time frame and looking at how price is reacting. So why do you think price came here, rejected, and then came here? It broke this weekly level and then came around here and rejected, because it found a daily level. So when you go to the daily, you probably should be able to see all these things very well. Are we together? Now, when you come to the daily, you're basically already aware that right now, I'm only focusing on this range. This is the range I'm focusing on, like here. This is where the market might be trading. This is where the market might be trading for the next few months. Someone has noise. Man, oh, it's so noisy. So this is what I have. I don't know whether this doesn't really make it easy for you guys, but yeah, it definitely has to. Definitely has to. Your trading should be very easy. Every time you're looking at a level, you know that this is a level. This is a weekly level. This is a monthly level. So your analysis should be basing on these levels. Why do I think I'm going to buy from here? Why do you guys think we bought from here? Because we had a daily key level and price had rejected here and it was into this range, blah, blah, blah. And then we came here, you'd probably first take this profits and wait for this level to be broken and you find an entry around there. You enter, you take profits. Like all these levels will give you levels of entries and taking profit. If you're going to be applying your kill shot, it's up to you now. Like kill shot is applied after breaking the market down. You don't just come and say, okay, I'm going to look at the last 3 weeks and then I apply the kill shot and blah, blah, blah. No, you don't do it that way. Like this is how you have to break it through. Okay? So focus on having a very clean chart. Focus on having a very clean chart. Don't draw so many of these things, like make it so dirty. With time, you're going to have all these levels in your head. So if you don't see me having sometimes these levels on my charts, I have them already in my head. So basically, you might be seeing H4, and you could have seen that, yeah, Euro USD is probably still on an uptrend, and it's on a daily level. So I don't even have to tell you this, but I'm looking at, yeah, price at least going to this monthly level before, I think of falling down to this weekly level. Or I'm probably looking at price rejecting from this level because when I divide, since I'm on H4, when I divide this level and this one, I'm probably going to get half of it. And that is where price is actually rejecting from. So the rest of the things is price action. And that is basically how you break the market down. So I'm going to take your questions. What questions you guys have concerning doing a top-down analysis? What have you not understood? Because everything you do, whether it's skill shot, whether it's what, it's all basing on how you first break down the market. So I'm taking your questions. Yeah, I'll definitely stop recording it here and then I answer your questions when I think I'm not recording. Stop recording, where is it? This.